Hi, happy Tuesday. I'm just going to have a little ramble and a little chat to keep my sanity through these times, which are getting crazier by the day. And I did a video yesterday and it was quite long and I was like 95% of the way through uploading it, and I sort of deleted it. And so I wonder what I'm going to say in this, if it's anything to do with what I was saying yesterday or not, because I don't do notes anymore, and I notice that's what annoys me. Because there was a time, maybe a year ago or whatever, where I used to write a load of notes and I was so sort of in the know about what I wanted to say. It was still rambly bullshit that didn't really make sense, but it was like of a topic, and now I feel like, I'm just like blah, 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 but it's such good therapy. Shit, battery's low. So yeah, it's so trippy, isn't it? I feel like I'm assessing sort of theories, I'm not talking about necessarily the coronavirus. I'm talking about, just sort of like the reality of what's going on. And I'm like, I feel like I kind of have inklings of the way the script's going to unravel. And so this week I found that I've had a difficult time. I've not really, it's still in my head, in my heart, I'm fine, but it's acknowledging again that, sometimes I'm like way off on a little hill on my own with my own thoughts and feels about things. And, I just sometimes feel like I feel a bit sorry for myself sometimes, because I'm like, I know in my head I make complete sense. I feel like I'm logical, I'm thorough, I really love to investigate, and I love mysteries, I love things that are exciting, so fuck yeah, I like conspiracies, and I'm not ashamed about that, I used to be, but I'm not. And it's information sources, it's not like I'm like, oh, give me the conspiracies. It's just like I'm seeing all the different angles, and the other angles are always labelled as conspiracy. So yeah, but anyway, so this week, yeah, lots of ups and downs really, because I kind of like, I want to speak out. It's been this like juxtaposition, this battle between myself of knowing when to speak out, and then trying to ascertain whether this is like some bullshit pattern of mine in the past, quashing myself, suppressing my own expression. And so I did this video yesterday, and it was a bit of a ranty ramble, about some of the things that I'd found over the week, interesting contradictory information or whatever regarding this coronavirus. And then it all just felt a bit sort of like, and, it's like, I feel like, I don't know, I'm trying to understand whether this is a time to sort of stand up and speak out, or whether this is a time to just sort of, almost like no resistance, energetically, I mean, because again, like I mentioned in my last video, I'm noticing this rebel part of me, that wants to go, fuck you. And it's been getting weirder and weirder around here. I'm not sure what it's like where everyone else is, but it is like a zombie apocalypse. There's hardly anyone out, and if there are, they're at supermarkets standing very far apart from anyone else. And there doesn't seem to be any sort of friendliness going on between people. Like, I personally thought that it would be a good time for people, I'm trying to catch people's eyes and smiling, trying to be a bit, just light-hearted and lift everybody's spirits about the weirdness. But it seems that, like, I don't know. So yeah, all the theories are on the table. It's like, is this a simulation? I've never really jollied with that idea before, but things just continue to be so bizarre. It's like, I guess you just have to laugh about it, don't you? I said the other day, this was about 3 days ago now, so God knows what the situation's like now, but went out for a walk with the kids, and they wanted to go on a swing, so I went to a little park, and all the swings and everything, it was all shut off with red tape, like crime scene tape. It wasn't crime scene, it was that shit fucking, you know, like white and red, do not enter, stay back type of vibe tape all around everything, even some of the equipment that was actually pulled out of the tarmac. And I'm like, it's gone too far. And the signs around, you know, saying please refrain from using the equipment, and it's like, my kids were gutted, so they went on what they could, you know, and we played for a bit. But, you know, it's like looking at the houses around, nobody's there, and I'm like, I just feel this sort of really bizarre weirdness. And so all week I've been trying not to get too carried away with myself, you know. And I've been wondering, you know, whether to share some of the things that I've found, or whether I really need to sort of wait to confirm validity of any of this, because I feel like this is often what happens, you know. Because personally, I've seen the same information which piqued my interest, you know, being passed around and spoken about by loads of different sources already, and I'm like, you sometimes see that happening, and then you find out, you know, that it's bogus, or it's, you know, it's not what it appears to be. People get so excited at the first, you know, the first signs that they jump to certain conclusions. So anyway, I'm like a cautious old goat. I'm a Capricorn, you know, I'm patient, I'm wary, I'm aware, I don't know, I'm just sort of like looking around, and I feel like right at this moment, you know, I just really don't need to add fuel to the fire with my thoughts. I'm just going to continue to observe and see if things fold out in the way that I feel like they will, script-wise, you know, through the talking heads of the politicians. And good God, it's funny, you know, I was having a little laugh about it the other day, because I've not watched many of these updates, you know, these very serious updates they have on daily. What I was like laughing at was just the, you know, just the buzz phrases, and, you know, the phrases that they want us to know, you know, stay home, protect the NHS, save lives, and the banners, and, you know, just how many times they throw it out. And I was laughing, saying, because it doesn't matter which politician it is, as soon as they walk up to the podium, they must go through this invisible technology that just turns them into generic, question avoiding, posh bumbling tosser, you know. It's like, oh, hello, we must flatten the curve and beat this virus, and it's like, and it seems to appease people. It's like, that's enough for people. It's like, and then they're like, well, let's go to the journalists, and you've got some, you know, Libby Baker from BBC, and I'm like, you've got two questions. What shit questions you fucking asking? Shit questions. They're asking shit questions, so we're not getting answers. And when you get any kind of question that's, you know, got any kind of like validity to it, it's just it's skimmed. So yeah, they're the same person. It doesn't matter who it is. Boris Johnson, you know, now he's off with coronavirus, and half of his cabinet are, and so you've got these new talking heads, and yeah, they're just the same person reading from the same script. So it's funny, innit? But I was letting it get to me a little bit, and I was feeling to myself, you know, like, why? Why am I? It's this age-old thing where it's like, there's this part of your sort of spirituality, this underlying part of you, that feels a sort of spiritual battle when belief systems are questioned. And it's really bizarre, because it is our responsibility. It's only us. We're responsible for the way we feel, you know. It's like if you've got the armour of God on, you know, you're feeling great, your aura's shining and protecting and reflecting off any kind of negativity. Someone could be throwing stones at you all day and it will never hurt you. You'll continue to feel good, you know, if you've got those skills to sort of, to feel good. So it's all about that. But yeah, I've been acknowledging again, and I think I touched on it in the last one. It's just this sort of this awareness of persecution energies, you know, surrounding me, and I've had it all this life. So I've you know, definitely experienced it before in older energetic situations, whether that's through my own incarnations or maybe tapping into that of my ancestors, I don't know, but I've experienced persecution, and so I'm always a little bit prickly around it, you know, a little bit, yeah, prickly and vulnerable, you know, ready to trigger. And I've spent a long time sort of understanding that it's not my problem, it's not my fault, you know, if somebody else is upset or threatened or triggered by my opinion, because I wouldn't hurt a soul. I just wouldn't, like, I mean, there's exceptions, you know, maybe if anything happened to my kids, then I'm up for that, but, you know, like, I wouldn't harm anybody, I don't intend to harm anybody, so, you know, I'm always like, you know, I feel like it's almost like, at least hear me out, you know, it's always that I'm innocent. I feel like I've always got that I'm innocent that is never heard or felt, you know, or understood by anybody else. So yeah, so it's funny because, like I said, you know, I miss my mum a little bit now, and I went up to, my exhaust pipe broke on my car, so I went up to borrow my dad's for a bit, and I thought they were having me on, you know, and I wanted to go and give him a hug, and it was a serious, stay where you are, and we'll throw the car keys down the drive to you, and I was like, well, that's shit. It's shit how nobody seems to want any fresh air or exercise. There's literally nobody about. It's shit that you know, supposed to only go out once a day and all this, and I just can't understand the blindness of the decisions that's being made. And you know, it's a real funny thing that's going on, but I don't know. So yeah, do I speak out? Do I want to speak or not to speak? It's like, I always want to speak, but it's like understanding the deeper spiritual context to opposition, you know, whether that's your belief system and someone else's, or good and bad, or you know, sold, non-sold, or whatever. Times like these and situations like these where certain people feel like they see things in a certain way through a different angle, you know, and then all of a sudden you're back in that dueling spiritual battle, you know, just because of opinions. And I'm going to share a little video actually. I saw 12:44 then, and 11:11 actually a couple of minutes ago, and 1:44 has been everywhere, and every time I see it I feel like it eases my heart, as sad as that is. But I'm going to share a video from Philip Daniel Miles, who I love. I just love him. I love the way he expresses, and he's just got such deep wisdom, and I think it's really poignant. It's a really small video, and it's just talking about finding the similarities, you know, not the differences, working on the similarities and the underlying love for each other, regardless of opinions and situations and circumstances. And it just touched me last night. It was really beautiful, so I'm going to share that. And I guess for everybody else, you know, just sort of remember that, you know, some of us, and not even, you know, not even me, I'm in a very sort of, I'm in a good place, you know, but some people are stuck at home, you know, with people that they don't really want to be stuck at home with, and things are getting, you know, all that energy under the roofs, and I think there's just going to be a lot of shit that for some reason is being ignored or not foreseen, you know, sort of collateral damage because of this ludicrousy that's going on now. And it's like, it almost feels to me like it's one of those situations where it's almost like flat earth. That's what this is sort of turning into. It's like it's being sort of violent, any sort of conspiracy is being like violently opposed as well, and so obviously that's interesting. But it feels a bit like a flat earth type of thing, or a Yanni and Laurel frequency Mandela effect-y type of thing, where it's like you see it or you don't, and it's sort of like, yeah, it's very strange. 40 and 40, I saw them. So yeah, so I guess it's like to try and, for me, I just want to hold the light as much as I can and to keep the light and to remind myself that, you know, I'm not going to be persecuted for my thoughts and my feelings. I'm not going to be. There's too many people. Like, that's the beauty of technology, you know, and that's the beauty as well as the muddle of the internet and the age of information. It's like, I've seen so many interesting videos, you know, in the last couple of days showing, you know, empty hospitals and empty testing facilities and really revealing things that medical staff have said. And you know, it's not like I enjoy going to like the most suspicious sort of conspiracy type thing first, you know. It's just when you've been up and down these rabbit holes, you sort of you know what you're sniffing out for, and so when it's there it's like, oh. So yeah, I'm not out here saying the coronavirus is fake, although that's a possibility, you know, my mind's completely open, it wouldn't shock me. I'm just saying that it's been used as a way to, who fucking knows what the end result is, but it's a pawn in the game. And the fact that so many people are in so much fear, and I'm just always, sometimes I'm disappointed. I'm just like, God's sake, you know, like maybe anyone who's been on this journey, you know, we think sometimes that it's like we're the only ones in the world, but you hope that you're not. But then times like these and you go, oh, fucking hell, it's like, I understand the need for people to, I guess, have this time to be shown this time to have to stay in and to face these things. And I hope people are ready for it. And I feel semi-prepared, like I said, and I'm partway through my journey. And sometimes I feel like I'm nearly done, and then I realise that you're never fucking done. And, you know, it's all very heavy, but it feels like something, you know, it's like, yeah, strange how I feel. Sometimes I feel scared to share my information, my thoughts, not information, I'm not saying it's like, you know, I'm scared to say what I think sometimes just because of like reactions I've had in the past and, you know, just sort of like opposition, you know. So it's like, but I'm not scared to do it. But there's like a higher part of me that's like, the time is not now to be adding sort of fuel to the fire and, you know, having conclusions about anything. It's like we're all in these ridiculous situations, you know. And we can, you know, we can help each other out. It feels like something's coming, doesn't it? And it's so exciting, and you know, I'm sort of giddy in a way as well, and I'm like, what is it? Could be anything. And when I think back to my forced awakening, you know, this Kundalini activation this night where I was told that my DNA was upgraded, and you know, all these other things. Straight after that night, for 2 weeks, I think I had a period of like psychosis for like 2 weeks. But I was convinced that the world was going to end on Easter, and it was March when I had this night. And I didn't tell anyone because obviously I was very fragile of mind. But I was like, something's going to happen, something's going to happen. And now everybody, well, not everybody, but there's a huge collective sort of talk about this, you know, something happening over Easter. And, you know, it's sometimes, yeah, I sometimes want to just sort of wow people, because, you know, we really do create things as we go along. And, you know, it's all right saying that, but knowing that and understanding that as a collective is something different. And it does take a bit of foresight to guide, you know, into the right timelines. And it's a tricky time at the moment, but basically don't feel alone, you know, and don't feel opposed in any way to anything, to any narrative, any person, you know. I was laughing as like, my mum and dad have gone, you know, they've gone. And I'm saying that like in a nice way. It's like, and I guess it's that sort of, that thing that everybody always says, it's like you can't try and wake people up. People wake up when they're ready. And I don't like using that terminology because it feels so immature to me, you know, like knowing all the shit that I've gone through, but it's more of awareness, I'd say, you know. And spiritual awareness. It don't mean, you know, I'm aware of all and everything. It's just a certain kind of awareness, like awareness of your consciousness and how that moves and, you know, what that drives and what that gives out and brings back. So yeah, the journey continues. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I have an idea of what will happen on, you know, in the 3D context for the next while. But I don't know what will happen, you know, grand scheme of things. Spiritually, I think it's a good one, you know. I think we're fine, and maybe it's as simple, you know, without getting as, you know, dark and fearful as people can get, like, oh, the whole world is like NPCs, and, you know, maybe it would be, oh shit, it's gone, and it was a really good fucking sort of a thing to sort of make you feel better about shit. Bollocks. Oh yeah, not really good, now I've remembered. You know, the fear of death. It's like us on this journey. I'm not afraid of death. I had to face that during this journey, you know. I'm not afraid of death. I don't carry that fear frequency surrounding death or disease or illness or any of that. I don't allow it into my perception. I am healthy and always will be, you know. So maybe it's as simple as that, you know. It's like the fear of death is overriding everybody, and so we're just experiencing and seeing a lot of collective craziness, and, you know, it's obvious, and we just have to concentrate on ourselves, I guess, don't we? So yeah, I don't know. We were laughing. I was laughing with Mark because he's been doing Facebook videos and they're amazing actually, and he's been cheering everybody up. But he's noticed that the more cheerful he is, the more full of light he is, and you know, sort of not buying into fear frequencies and you know, seriousness and everybody's all that, and, you know, just sort of seeing the comedy in things. But he's noticed that, you know, he's almost like he doesn't want to become a target, you know, like getting on people's nerves, basically. Yeah, this is what happens, isn't it? So it's like, shine your light bright and don't be bothered when people try and put it out, which they will, and they'll be everywhere, and they'll come out of the fucking crevices to try and make you as bad as they're feeling, because look how serious everything is, and the world, and everyone's dying, and it's like, nah. And everything comes through that goddamn box and the talking heads, and thank God we have the internet now. We can connect, and we can throw out, you know, thousands more times the amount of different opinions and different perspectives and different, you know, realities of things. So people get to choose rather than just being, you know, told things through the television. But who knows? Anyway, yeah, other news, not much. Yeah, kids are doing well. They're doing well. We keep saying how it's not very fair, you know, and we're trying to make every day as fun as we can. But, you know, I'm still feeling that pace myself, because it's not actually, you know, conducive to human health to have, you know, people under house arrest, basically, you know, locked up and, you know, just going out for exercise. Mark got stopped by the police today, and asked what he was doing and where he was going. It's like craziness, isn't it? So yeah, so the whole week I've been battling with that, you know, annoyance at the talking heads who morph through the clone machine on the way to the podium to tell us the same shit every day. Numbers of figures, tests are on the way, antibody tests, and we've got tests and numbers and experts and scientists and tests and numbers. And you go, and no fucking foresight of anything. else, or even that, what of which you're talking about. So good. Right, I'm gonna get off. Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody's all right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm only ever doing advice to myself when I'm talking here. It's like, if it gets to the end of the video, it's like, yeah, guys, remember this, that, and the other. It's like, no, talking to myself here. I'm acknowledging the 5D, 3D shift, and that happens very obviously and tangibly. I'm feeling a lot of things brewing up, but I'm feeling good, spiritually sound and good, and I need my spirit and my soul to be tested and wavered a bit sometimes in order for the strength to come through. So it's like, yeah, speak out, talk to myself. What a fucking coward I am in reality. I'm not, but it's like, it's like, yeah, I had quite a good rant yesterday, and then I'm like, delete in case I offend somebody. It's like, jog on, fucking hell. Yeah. There's so many people I feel sorry for at the moment, and it's definitely not the people who are like, hashtag stay home, hashtag save lives. I actually went to pick something out of the boot of my car the other day, and I saw this lady who I briefly worked with, and she shouted, "Cooey!" She was 2 houses down visiting this patient, and she just turned into this sort of crazy template of people, of which there's many at the moment. And Cooey, she said, "Are you staying in? Are you staying in to save lives, save your children, keep your children safe? You're staying in?" I said, "Yeah, kind of." She's like, "That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. And then this will all go away." And it was like some over-exaggerated bad acting from, it felt like the Truman Show, like I was looking around for the cameras, and I've had so many of those moments, and I embrace them now. I embrace them. I embrace the weirdness. Every night I'm staring at the sky and the stars, and just it feels close, it feels intimate. It's like, there's a lot of juicy cosmic love flying around. The skies are amazing, and there's a lot to be thankful for, and yeah. So don't buy into the fear frequencies, they will creep up, and it might not have anything to do with the coronavirus. It'll just be to do with, something else. But stay strong in spirit, and music's the best. And speak out. You don't have to talk about conspiracies, but just speak out. Chat yourself through this process. It's difficult. I love the people around me so much, and thank God. But still, it's like we've had to sort of be like, I need a few hours now on my own. Like, you go, go away, let me go, and sitting here for a few hours or sitting there for a few hours, because it's quite, yeah. I've always been quite anxious, and moving around. I've been keeping myself busy, when I think really, I need to sort of sit and embrace these energies and centre myself. If you can see some weird shit moving around the screen, it's because I've cracked my phone. I've not got the white-winged collective of 9 behind me. Or maybe I have. Ooh. But it's just some cracked reflection shit. So happy Tuesday. Have a lovely day. And keep the vibes up. People don't like it, but keep it up, because it only matters how you're feeling. And, there's the energies are around for us to feel good, I think, and yeah. Happy Tuesday.